Episode 3. Yes, episode 3 of this abomination known as a $9 podcast featuring yours truly, your humbled moderator, Drewski. It's been said, it's a well-known statistic that most podcasts, 90% of podcasts fail after episode number 3. People just get tired of doing them and just said, I don't need the fucking headache. And they just quit. Whether they have no time or they realize that they're in over their goddamn heads. But see, I'm stubborn, as people are learning. I'm stubborn. I'm trying to see this through to the bitter end. What that bitter end is, I have no idea. But the journey there is going to be fun as hell. There was a point a couple days ago where I thought this was going to come out before episode 2 because Shadow doesn't. Shadow's got real busy with his 500 different jobs on his plate. It's getting to the point where he's getting more work than Rocky. And the priority for this podcast has kind of gone down. Kind of getting a little bit of neglect. I'm not gonna lie. Should I be a little upset about it? No, no. It is what it is. I just, am I gonna give him shit about it? You bet I'm gonna give him shit about it. Because that's the talking shop way. It's basically, yeah, the talking shop way is burying your friends for fun and profit. You know, one day I'll get that profit, but it might not be for another 10, 15, 20 years or so. But like I said, I'm a very patient man. It's like for my legitimate job, when they first hired me back in 1989. Yeah, I've been doing graveyard shifts since 1989. I was a punk 22 year old. Had long hair. Yeah, yeah, I had long, because I was, starting the wool metalhead. It's like basically waist length hair, the whole nine. Which means, making that admission means I'm going to get photoshopped in the nest with ridiculous looking wigs in the next couple of months. It's like nothing I haven't seen before, but I'm kind of halfway expecting it. And when I got hired there, the first boss there said, "Oh, I'll just stick you on graveyard, and then in 6 months from now, in 6 months, if you do your job, we'll put you on days." Well, that evolved to the point where it's like, about 20, 25 years in, he's like, boss says, "Oh no, I don't want you on days. I'm afraid what you're going to do to people during the daytime." What are you trying to say? Saying a little too intense for daytime? How can that be? No, surely surely I'm not going to kill a customer, no matter how much No, I'm not going to go down that road. 'Cause I don't have any incriminating video evidence. See, he was planning it all along. Let's just digress from that. Why don't we? So we got Forbidden Door coming up Sunday. Ridiculous card, just straight ridiculous card. I'm expecting the main event to be a clusterfuck. With the War Dog showing up on Dynamite to interfere in that tag match. I'm expecting some involvement. I'm expecting them to show up, and with the certain cryptic saying of the Gun and Gallows saying, "Oh, we're going to be someplace special Sunday this weekend." What's your first thought? They're gonna fly over to England, get involved with the Bizzles. It would piss off a lot of people in the IWC. That's for damn sure. But it's in character. It's in character. It makes logical sense because it's basically Bullet Club. Bullet Club Gold. Not Bullet Club Gold. The Bullet Club. It's like Bullet Club's aligning. The War Dogs are aligning with the Death Riders. That's sort of like and you still got the Bullet Club Civil War in the background. Some people think it's been going on for a little while now. It's been going on for a little too long. No, it's just getting warmed up. It's just getting warmed up because you're just waiting for Jay White to be cleared. Them signing Ace Austin was basically a stopgap because he'll fit right into the Bullet Club Gold because he is Bullet Club. And I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Bay, if that brother ever, that brother ever recovers from his, horrific injury, because he's making progress. But I could see him actually showing up also to help. The amount of people that can run in on the main event cage match is pretty much insane. Could have the boys, could have Rocky, you could have Don Callis' family show up and just cause chaos. You could have the Mad King, which which is which would be the way to go. Yeah, because there's too many. Eddie Kingston has too many enemies in that cage that he wants to target. Gabe Kidd and Claudio in a cage. Eddie's been stewing for about over a year. Guarantee he's going to come in. And you also have, and notice, Brian Danielson's been all over doing the commentary for Dynamite, and he's doing commentary for Collision. He's all over the place. He's doing the pre-show. He's doing the pre-show for Forbidden Door. Don't be surprised if the American Dragon gets involved, especially with Osprey's situation. Osprey, he's a trooper, but sometimes wrestlers are worst enemies. It's basically they'll power through like warning signs like, "Hey, don't do this shit." Don't do this shit, and you might be really, really fucked up for the rest of your life. This way it will often go. Just one more, just one more, just one more, and that one more becomes another one. Becomes 6 months later, becomes a year later. I mean, look at Swerve. Apparently, Swerve's been dealing with a torn meniscus in his knee for 6 years. 6 years, and you would think you give it time to heal, but meniscuses don't really heal that well because I know people have had torn meniscuses. If it's minimum for a torn meniscus is like it's a couple weeks if it's a good surgery. If it's a partial tear, if he's lucky. But considering what he's been through with Hangman and all that, he might be out like at least a month or two. But luckily, AEW is so goddamn stacked with talent. They can just could just substitute in and not miss a beat. I mean, when you have Samoa Joe, you got Killer, just legends, legends and new kids. If it was up to me, it's just Takeshita, just give it to just let Takeshita run, just have him go nuts. Just make him go full alpha. Go Reign of Terror to catch that. Just go or just have the Don Callis family just rain havoc on everyone for like about 6 months. That'll be people might complain that they're well, great another evil faction taking the good guys have to overcome, but the Don Callis family is overpowered as hell as factions go. It's very impressive the roster of killers that Don has. Not and spoiler alert for Collision, they're teaming with Hiromu Takahashi. So, so the time bomb might end up being part of this growing family. Like, where does it stop? Don's gonna be in stuff. You know, actually, Don Callis is very much an underrated hire for AEW when you look at it because you want instant heat, just give Don a mic. He'll give him like three, give him a couple minutes and a live microphone, and basically heat magnet for whoever he is representing. Because Fletcher's about ready to go on a run. Takesha's going to go on a run. Josh Alexander's probably going on a run. You got so many guys so many options they can go with, which makes it great. Just makes it great at the when you break it down like that. And to see how WWE is in a state of panic because they're in a state of panic because they're overreacting, but they're programming, moving shows around, doing pay-per-views on the same day. It's basically it's a full-on assault is what they're doing. They're really desperate. They're trying to steer the narrative away, steer the narrative that they are the only game in town, and they will squash any other talent that claims otherwise, any other promotion that claims otherwise. It's been that way. It's been their blueprint since 1970, since Jess Senior. Since Vince Senior. Vince Senior was like that, but not. The only reason you don't really hear that much about Vince Senior is because it was only it wasn't social media. Social media was not around during that time to pick up on all the backdoor shenanigans that were going on, like the NWA and WWF, WWE, WWF at the time. And then how Vince basically learned from his dad. He got tough love from his dad, and basically applied that to take applied that to take taking over everything, pretty much everything, stomping out all the competition. And then where is Hunter? Triple H learned all that. He's learned well from Vince. He always goes to Vince for advice. He's following the Vince blueprint. And so to an extent, it's TKO. Well, most of TKO. Except it's funny listening to Dana White go off on a really ridiculous take about how it's more lucrative to slap a guy in the face, slap someone in the face in a professional league, risk a concussion over like over like claiming that WWE deals that like dives into tax for like $50, which mm, yeah, a lot. The last time WWE did that would be the first time for $50. You know, it's very ridiculous, but it's very very hyperbolic. But then Dana is a promoter. You expect him to be an expert on everything. Much like I'm not exactly I'm not going to compare myself to Dana White, but I'm not an expert on everything. I know hard to believe. I know Falcons Nest. I'm not an expert on everything. So as I record this, it's about 1 in the morning, and later and on in the day, Easy E and Gallows are as I'm taping this are going to make the foolhardy. I think make not the foolhardy, but it's like the questionable decision to let Falcons Nest help help them book TalkNShop Mania 3. There's something to be said about too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, in this case, it's too many degenerates in a sauna because you're going to get like 50 variations of sauna matches suggested. All of them you can't even. All of them you won't be able to air unless it's on Pornhub or something. It's like any fetish, any goddamn fetish that you think of. It's like no, this is not. It's a wrestling show. God damn it! You sick bastards. I don't. You do. You can't book like 8 sauna style matches. It's like it's not CCW. There's a reason Talking Shop Mania is what it is. Basically, it's a variety. It's a variety. It's entertaining as hell. It's, I thought the sauna matches could be entertaining, maybe, but they have to be done well. Because remember, whoever's going to whoever is going to broadcast this is going to have to deal with deal with people like breathing down their necks, going, "How the hell? How did how the hell did you prove this on on your channel, right?" Because there will be backlash to whatever the boys think of because it's not these times today people are a little more sensitive, but but then these kind of things go in cycles. It's like what used to be taboo and risque, now conservative, go back to taboo, risque, conservative. It's a cyclical thing. I could see it. I could see it coming. It's basically sure they can take the easy way out and blame Rocky for the ideas, but but it's so easy to blame Rocky when he's not there, right? You can't exactly blame me either because one, I'm not on the booking committee. Two, I don't get paid to be on the booking committee. Three, I barely get paid to do this, and it's ridiculous to even imagine that the backlash for from booking like this booking a bunch of matches that are just reserved for like the Falcons Nest only. Falcons Nest knows all the details for, but the general public that's coming in the first time is going to go, "What the fuck are these people? What is it? Is everybody there deranged?" I mean, can we get a mental health professional in there to do to do an intervention for Christ's sake? No, it's not that simple. It's not that simple to just wash your hands of it and go, "Oh, we had no idea there was going to be an uproar." Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm, you know, again, like I always say, I'm trying to cover the boys' asses. I don't want the boys getting canceled over some stupid, dumbass idea. Yeah, some people in the chat want me to just come right out and say I love the Falcons. Um, that's got to be earned, son. It's got to be earned. Just actions, not words. I'm just trying to corral this before it goes off the rails in about 3 hours or so when when Gallows and EC open this up to suggestions because I'm really looking not really looking forward to reading reading some of the ideas because it's gonna be uh, it's going to be not feasible to do, legally. You have to get creative over that shit. And yeah, sometimes it makes you want to throw your hands up in the air and go, "What the?" You can only do so much from like 3,000 miles away. The boys are your as I'm doing this, the boys are on their way to Milwaukee, and for Milwaukee to do a show. Hopefully, the gun has at least five Apple AirTags attached to his brand new laptop charger, so he doesn't lose it at the airport or lose it anywhere, so he can track it, so he doesn't have to go out and buy more. No, I realize that that's probably going to be my Christmas bonus gone gone out the window. But hey, priorities. It's like the boy needs a laptop charger because business has to be done. Business has to be. He has to put on the promoter hat, and he's got Larry Auto Pro to worry about. He's got the five little hoots to worry about. He's got to worry about teeny, going through the, you know, basically run, you know, running the store. He's got to, worry about, arrangements to go, the fourth rope next week, fourth rope in Buffalo. Well, hopefully, your brother Pepper comes to the show. 'Cause I saw an update about Pepper, and Pepper's looking good. He's like a year. It's been a year removed from his back surgery, and he's doing drills again. So it's only a matter of time before he gets cleared again, which is great. Which is really really great to see. I hope Pepper does show up because he need good to see for the boys to see a familiar face with him, with them. They can come see him because Pepper did ad campaign for West Side Gun way back in the day, and I I wondered how well how much I can ramble for one thing. I guess should be the part where I'm actually plugging this goddamn podcast, right? You know, like I said, like I've mentioned from podcast number one, work in progress, learning how to do shit. Where's the yeah, no, it's where's the mic now? Hey, hands free, sons. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully it turns out good. Any comments would be appreciated. It's like I went out and got a goddamn Yahoo email for this train wreck. You want to want to send comments or no anteater pics right off the bat. No anteater pics. Instant block if that happens. Well, it'll be address is 9 dollar podcast at yahoo.com. And I'm not expecting much in the way of mail because at this point it's just I'm still still learning this stuff. Yeah, only hope I can only hope I'm doing good. I can only hope I can improve. Yeah, I only hope I don't embarrass myself doing this, which it's a tightrope walk for me because I couldn't have done this 20 years ago. I would have been too embarrassed to do it. I would have been mortified. But that's probably will end it.